So what you need to know, there's a few things you need to know about putting pictures in your WordPress template next to each other. The first thing is that when you do this technique, that there is a possibility that you might destroy your template. So if you make your pictures too big, like you have 3 very wide pictures and you put them in your template, you will just push the template out and it will become quite strange. So make sure that whatever you do, you have 3 pictures that fit next to each other in a post or in a page. That's very important, yeah? Because otherwise you will destroy the template. Go to your WordPress website. And if you want to follow this course, I would recommend you to do it with me. Yeah? Connection. Let's hope I have connection now. So here I am in my dashboard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to posts. And I want to make a post with 3 pictures next to each other lined out. So I say add new. And the interface that we are familiar with should pop up any second now. And the seconds are turning into minutes. Here we go. So this little piece of coding, you have to do it by hand because there's no feature for it in the standard WordPress template. So you have to go to HTML. Everybody in HTML? Yes? Okay, wonderful. Then you type in the following tags. Now everybody knows what tags is because we looked at it yesterday. But you type in the following tags: table and close table. And you must type it exactly like this. If you mistype it, it won't work. Yeah? Okay. In each table you have table rows and you have table columns or TDs. So because we want the pictures to be next to each other, how many rows do we have? No, those are columns. So we have 1 row and 3 columns. Let me just draw that for you. So this is 1 row, and here you have the 3 columns. Yeah? So when you are making a table, and this can also apply for when you are making a table for your prices or your listings, etc., 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 you have to make table rows. In my case, I'm only going to make 1. And you make a table row by doing TR. It stands for table row. And you have to, of course, close the table row. I'll zoom in a little bit because maybe it's a little bit smaller. Better? Yeah? Okay. And in the table row, you have the columns, and now you think, oh, that's TC. No, too bad, it's not TC, it's TD. So I'm now going to make 3 TDs because I have 3 columns. And of course you can copy this if you want. Now if we look at, don't do this, but I'll just show you. If I go to my visual now, you'll see I have created a table, and I will put something in it so you can see that it's really there. 1, 2, 3. So visually you see here 1, 2, 3. I can make it a little bigger. There you are. You see the dotted lines here? Yeah. So now I've created a table with 1 row and 3 columns. Now when I go back, you see that I also now have the table width and the table height. That's because I went back to the visual tool and I stretched it, and then WordPress thinks, I need to do something with this. You know what? I'll put a width and a height. But for our situation right now, for the thing that we are making, I don't want the width and the height. So I'm just gonna get it out because it's too complicated. And the other thing is, it created a T-body. Now the official code is T-body, so it actually helps me with my code. Yeah. You also have a table head, and you use the table head for the first row to identify the columns. Yeah. But for this example, that's all a little bit too specific. However, we can now insert images. And if I put my code here, if I put my, my cursor here on this piece of code, the number 1, I can just press image, and it will say, Paulus, where is the image you want to connect to this particular piece of column? Now I'm just gonna type, I'm just gonna look for a picture somewhere, but I don't think there will be a picture, so it will probably give me a broken link, but that doesn't really matter in this case. I used this EMG, but you can also type what I'm. If you look in the screen right now, you can also type what I'm showing in the screen. And let me just zoom in again. So this is actually the code for getting a picture somewhere. However, there is no picture here. As we can see, when I go to my visual, you'll see no picture there. It will just say my picture because there's no picture. Yeah. Because in order to make a picture, if you look at the normal code somewhere, let's say we look at a picture in Swiss.com. I don't know if this is, here's a picture. Let's look at the code for this picture. And there must be an image somewhere here. Let's find it. EMG. No image. Okay, that's too bad. Let's go to another website then. And here's an image. Now let's look at the info there, and this is the path to an image. Now if I copy this one to my URL, yeah, then I have a picture. However, I didn't size the picture now, so it's quite big, and it might, if I have 3 of these pictures next to each other, it might cause my template to push out. Let's just do it and see what happens. So I copy this image code 3 times where the numbers were, and when I look visually, you see this picture going underneath my my interface. So if I now go to let's just publish it and see what happens. Yes, however, if you're doing it, if you're getting